Bulldog Gin. Begin bold.
Blimba Chicken Chamin Makhata, aka Big Wara, and a whole bunch of other AKAs. It's a special one. I'm gonna cap it right there.
Big special one, yo. It's Big Fred, aka Young EA Sports.
It's in the game.
It's in the game.
I'm in the game, yo.
Kiki to outfits.
Hey, yes, Sirski. And it's a special one, man.
You hear the ice. You hear the ice.
And that's a desha, man.
Desha,
man. I mean, this is a special episode and we welcome a very special guest. I mean, somebody that I believe has a father their age in terms of all of the media.
I think this is his second time here. Huh?
Yeah, second time. You know, first time on the visuals. You know, he's
first time on the visuals, so he's an OG.
Yeah.
OG.
Yeah. Sobering alumni, definitely sobering alumni.
Technically third,
actually. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Would you say third?
Because there was a collaboration episode that we did.
Oh yeah.
When you were on the other side of the boat, you know what I'm saying?
Taking pictures.
Oh,
I was
but you got on the mic at one point.
No, you wasn't on the Art Lifers collab.
You?
Well, I took pictures.
You were in the room though.
I took pictures.
Yeah, you was there.
Okay.
The pictures I remember that on Hype Magazine.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
They were taken by me.
Yeah, it was a crazy episode, and like I think he said a couple of things. Like there was a lot of like.
I remember we used to jump in every now and then.
Oh yeah, that was a crazy time. Crazy time. But let me get his intro right, man. I mean, this man has done so much. Fathered a youth generation.
So much.
You know, gave a lot of life to young designers, young creatives, young visual
architects. Gave a lot of space to them.
Taught people how to play outside. You know, gave people a platform to perform and showcase things at a festival. One of the youngest spearheaded music and creative festivals that we've seen in our time. You know, you might mess around with some scrambled eggs and all of them joints with his name. It's the Frypan, man.
Oh.
Allah.
Come on.
Thank you very much.
Come on, bro.
I've been waiting for this intro.
Come on, dog.
I've been waiting for this intro.
This is my guy. This is my guy. This is my guy.
The crowd is going wild.
Man.
You just can't hear it. The crowd's going wild. You just can't hear it.
Yeah, man.
The crowd going crazy.
Thanks, dog.
The crowd going crazy.
Yeah, they're going crazy, bro.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here. Actually, alumni. I've been. This is like 100 episodes after. And what I mean by that is like I've watched so many episodes.
Yeah.
I know how this
just
is
pull the
gonna
mic
go.
closer to
you. Talking to the mic.
Just pull the mic closer.
It is, man.
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say.
I might have to hold it for you.
Let me fix it.
Yeah. You got this. Is not your first rodeo, man.
Good?
Come on, yeah.
He knows this life.
Yeah, you can talk to yourself. Yeah, there you go.
No, he knows this life. He knows this life. And I mean, this is also brought to you by the good folks. You know what I mean? Of Bulldog.
You see,
the bold ones.
Bulldog Gin. We got some beautiful cocktails over there. You know, mixing that Bulldog and making sure the Bulldog plays nicely.
Plays nice.
You know what I mean? The
guy.
Bulldog plays, dog. The Bulldog plays. Come on.
Cheers, musical cheers.
You know. Cheers to that, man. And you know, it's all about, you know, taking these bold steps and celebrating bold people. And also, I know it's April right now, but we also just need to reflect on March being, you know, Ideas Month and all of that, you know. And we also just celebrating people with bold ideas, people with that take bold steps in all of their creative entrepreneurial endeavors. And who better to talk about such than somebody that's got his fingers in all these creative pies, Pan.
I don't know why that's a pause.
Let's rock on.
Yeah, I mean,
but like you said, you know what's so strange about being here? So that I haven't been a guest in, I don't know, a show or panel
in a minute.
In over 2 years.
No, that's a lie. You were
last week
on a panel just last week.
Yeah. And I told you the same thing.
Yeah,
it was about 2 years since I've done that. I'm always here.
Yeah.
It feels strange. I don't know. This now feels a little bit strange.
Really?
Now, Fry, I mean, like, I think now a lot of people are getting reintroduced to you as well.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And there's been so many things that you've done in your youthful life. But if you can just take us through some of those or your favorite foundation stages. You know, funny enough, when this campaign is called Bold Ones, I remember when you were an ambassador for another brand, phone brand,
Adversity.
in Varsity, and your ad campaign was centered around being bold.
Because the phone was called Bold. That was the motto.
It was holding down everything those times.
The dots connect, bro.
Damn, you're taking me back. That was, I think around about 2011, 12. Yeah.
It was after the World Cup.
Varsity
it was like fresh
days.
after the World Cup. After the World Cup.
And it was based on, so that was based on, firstly, it was the blogging.
Yeah.
Remember? And I had Sneak Peek. So that was
the thing, man.
Sneak Peek was a sneaker culture blog.
Yep.
And let me tell you how that happened actually.
Yep.
So it's like in high school. In high school I've always hustled. But there's one moment where this dude is called King T. Shout out to King T, actually. King T is still in Forslow, doing what he used to do like 20 years ago, but on another level right now. And I say on another level because he stripped his model to like a rope, a backpack full of teas that he makes, and goes to a corner and they'll tie this rope from post to post, tree to tree, and that's his store.
Damn.
Like no overheads with his business. This is 20 years later. This guy used to own a container store, Extension 7, Heritage, right? This is 2005, something like that. I'm still in high school, 2004. And the idea of a container store was not a thing at that time. Even it was just a container, no windows, just like that. Kept his stock there. He had like vans. He had like a lot of these things, that accessories, the street stuff, but all in that space. Remember lama badge law?
Badges and everything.
Yeah, they used to sell them at like Look and Listen or something.
Yeah,
like
the music badges.
music badges, and they used to go for like $20 back then.
Yeah.
And this guy would give me a handful, probably like about 50 of them for like maybe $50 or something like that. It's very stupid, right? But I hit him up to say, yo, there's a market day at my school. And it's like, oh, consignment. I'm like, what's consignment, dog? Then that's the first guy to like teach me
business,
how it works. But from that, I do the market thing. It doesn't really go well. This girl called Xenia is like, they're hiring at Sports Scene. And somehow I was that kid that had a CV in his email or something like that.
Oh, remember those days, CVs?
Yeah, so you have to have it like somewhere.
Yeah.
I go there same day,
This is varsity.
No, this is high school.
Crazy.
There's still high school. I
Child
go there,
labor.
I get the job. No, it's not child labor. I'm 16 at this point. It's
labor,
voluntary child labor. But I'm 16. I need to make money, dog. I need to make money. I get the job. I had to work there on weekends. But this is when I get introduced to sneakers, not the culture. So I'm working with sneakers. I'm buying them at discount. Like I'd get Vans for like, I don't know, $90 or something like that. Because I'm the kid that they send to the storeroom to do the price checks every sale, whatnot. And you know, when in retail, the back end is like when the stock is about to go down, it registers head office and they bring more. So some of the stuff that's on the bottom, it's been stacked. They've been stacking on it for seasons. By the fourth season of going on sale, it's like $90 and stuff like that.
Slight discoloration on some
Not even. This is like a year.
Yeah.
It's just a year.
Oh, okay.
It's nothing much, you know. That's how I get fresh for Varsity.
Yeah.
That's how we meet, because it's like, what are those type of situation. But then I hang out with you, it's Splash, it's everybody. I start hearing about these characters I start firstly hearing about sneaker culture. I don't know what that shit is. I just wear fly sneakers, that's all I know. Then they tell me about the culture, right? So it's like the stairs, they're at Great Hall
Stairs, yeah. Shout out to Vitties.
You know, then these names, MK, Sanele, Gallery on 4th, all of that comes up. What do? I start a blog. But I'm learning about this thing right now and I'm sharing it in real time.
Yeah.
You know, a year in, like you're a sneaker expert or sneaker culture expert.
Yeah.
Why? Because you learn and teach in real time.
Yeah.
You know?
Collect and share in real time.
Collect and share. And after a year or two, you get featured on Hype. Remember? Got featured on Hype. I think we were on with Fred Pack. We were on the same, at some point, we were on the same issue. That's when they used to print physical.
And then
They had a profile of Sneak Peek at some point, you know? So it's like, it's those moments, it's like a build up towards that. And that's where I start going into the streets and understanding what could be my position.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is like, even the most recent thing I'm doing, I'm literally learning and sharing at the same, in real time.
Yeah.
It's like nothing has changed since then. It's like I've made a living from learning and sharing in real time. That's some bullshit.
There's a certain amount of boldness that you must have to like pivot the way you do.
Yeah.
Because you've been pivoting forever, my boy.
I've been pivoting.
I don't even know what to call you. I don't even know what you do. I can't say you do this. What director?
Researching, one presenter.
In an NBA, like what? Where do you get that from, bro?
It's like, one, it's curiosity, but that's probably number two. The first thing is, I'm tempted to say this is going to sound like it's like, it has very little to do with me, but more to do with maybe what I should be doing while I'm here.
Explain that.
So it's like the one common DNA in everything I do is that it's based on democratizing.
Okay.
Whether it's information, whether it's opportunity.
Access.
That's just the common denominator.
The common thread.
Yeah. The what, the how, that's immaterial.
Yeah.
You know, it's neither there or here. It's canvases. These are trends. You know, it's like we use social media today. It was blogging 15 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Blogspot,
exactly.
WordPress,
Now it's
Tumblr.
Yeah.
So the canvas is immaterial.
Yeah.
The cause.
So the medium may change, but the message stays the same.
Exactly. But that's where the curiosity comes in.
Yeah.
You gotta be curious about what's current, what's next. Genuinely curious and genuinely a fan of it to embrace, so that you don't catch yourself in a space where you're like, nah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's not your place to like it or not like it. Yours is to see what potential it has and invest in it. You know, whether you train yourself in it or, you know, everything is self-taught too. It's like when I saw The Black, remember?
Talk about it.
The Black is like you and Helen, right?
Come on,
right?
man. Talk about it.
That's what like influenced Sneak Peek. You know, because I'm like, oh, you could do that like that. But what I saw is that you had to shoot and edit. I didn't have anyone to teach me, so I had to. It was self-taught.
Same. I was like, at that time, I was learning.
See, it's the same thing, and I'm probably doing the same for someone as well. You know.
Yep.
So it's like after a while of it working, whatever it is. You realize that, oh, maybe my life is designed like this. That's why I'm like, I have nothing to, it's not my brilliance per se, but maybe more to do with like me taking advantage of opportunities.
Yes.
That's mainly it. But insofar as like, if you ask me, would you be in the basketball space right now? Hell to the nah. You know what I mean? But it's happening, and I'm still using the same formula that I used for everything else, you know? So, and the mission still remains democratizing, and in that space too, it's allowed me to do that. Democratize culture, democratize knowledge, and hopefully that converts into opportunity, because, you know, that's the most important one.
Well said.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that you're doing now is like playing a lot in the theater space as a thespian and whatever. In terms of democratizing that, how do you see that unfolding? Like, what's to democratize there?
I mean, it's a storytelling space. Theater is a storytelling space, you know? And also just to give you guys context, it's like you guys would be here every Saturday. Right? So every time I go to Market Theater, which is
down the road,
I attend at the Market Theater Lab, and I'm doing like part-time. I'm part of part-time. It's a part-time course for theater acting. You train you how to, you know. act in theater from level 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And I'm at level 3. Actually performing. I'm performing in.
You right there, brother?
Happening to you. Don't play with the play. And the Bulldog.
Yeah, there we are.
Okay. You safe?
Come on, man, you see me.
We good. So
You should be level 3, you said.
So I'm performing in 2 weeks actually. My final showcase.
Oh, nice.
Are we pulling up?
Please do. So it's that commitment. It's like I saw you guys here. When you do this all the time,
Yeah.
it's like gym.
Yeah.
Like you spend your Saturdays
Yeah.
getting better at this.
Yeah.
And we're here consistently.
Yeah.
And I'll cross here consistently as well. So for the past 9 months, I've been doing that. What's the question again? So I can answer it.
How are you democratizing?
Yes,
what is there to
Oh,
democratize?
what's there to
here's the
democratize
thing
that?
about the theater space, dog. It's like, this is an analogy I use. It's like, what theater is to storytelling is what jazz is to music. Meaning, you find a lot of foundations of, jazz gives a lot of foundation to a lot of other genres and sounds, because it captures the basics beautifully. So does theater. And the theater space is unlike other spaces because it also tests you as a human. It requires you actually to test yourself, contradict yourself. So one, it challenges the viewer and challenges also the performer on a very real level. And what I believe that does is that it gives you much more than commercial success or rather commercial objectives. And by so doing, you learn storytelling from a very honest point of view, that it's not about acting, because that's the rule of theater. It's like never be caught acting. That's the number one rule. You gotta feel it.
Message.
Gotta feel it from your gut, So that's why they train you to go in and out of states, emotional states. So you can switch from angry to peaceful, but in a tactful way without hurting your emotions or yourself. After that,
Without inheriting the feeling.
yeah, you don't have to do that. You get trained to go in and out. So what that teaches you about storytelling is that it goes way beyond yourself and your commercial success.
Yeah.
So I believe that if anyone starts at the theater space, they'll be able to understand, one, their responsibility with storytelling,
Yeah.
and they'll be able to use it beyond that. So in the same way that I use it for my emceeing, hosting, just general communication. Just says it's got all the basics of communication. So to speak to democratization is that it allows me to democratically go through to all these spaces. But what it does for the actor and the viewer is that with theater is that we could just perform here. Singaphuma la ngaphandle.
Yeah.
And do it. They call it poor man's theater.
Yeah.
There's this play Yakambongeni Ngema. It's just a 2-man play. I'll remember it. Was Albert, if I'm not mistaken. It's literally they're on stage and there's nothing but a log hung up and a blanket over it. And if they have to do costume changes, they just go behind it and back. It's called Poor Man's Theater, and it shows you that with storytelling, you don't necessarily need too much or any resources.
Yeah.
Njengaseyigele zaselokishini, shall we catch?
Yeah.
You don't need much, it's just imagination, And if you go into storytelling through that perspective, then lack of resources is not a thing.
Yeah, it
You
should
know,
be.
you could make it work because all you need is in you. Train this body, train this voice, speak from the diaphragm, be a quick thinker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be able to improvise, like hip hop.
Quick
The
on your
same way
feet. Yeah.
when you
Freestyle,
hip hop, you start in the streets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that
Well, you used to, but that's the story.
yeah,
for
well,
another day.
but
Yeah.
I think you still started in your school desk, you beat the drum, you still started school exchange.
Yeah.
It's also those things that democratic can go further and wide, is that the simpler it is, the simpler your formula, the better or the faster you can make it like go throughout the world. And theater has that. So
Also, there's something instantaneous about about theater in general. Like you can see when the crowd is feeling you.
Yeah.
You can
see what?
see when the crowd is feeling you.
But wouldn't you say
can see, like,
that's the same as actually being a performer on
Live
stage?
performance.
That's what I'm
100%.
getting to. Like, but like for some people, like, and to what you're saying, when you start there, as you can see the instantaneousness, you know what I mean? There's a communication there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can like, okay, like I'm losing them. Let me switch it up a touch. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. It's like that's why like the rule is do not be caught acting.
Yeah.
Because people feel the emotion that you give and they give it back. So it's tennis.
Yeah.
So you can't cheat people, dog. You can't cheat emotions. Young Toil. There needs to be that level of honesty that goes in between us. Because here, there is not a space of judgment.
Yeah.
It's a space of us being vulnerable. You know, if you play a role, sometimes you play a fucked up role, but you know deep down, you have that in you. It's not politically correct
But
to display it.
But there's a piece of that in you.
Here's a platform.
Yeah.
Do it without judgment and do it well. You know, play a villain well.
Yeah.
By being not judging a villain, by being honest to what this person is feeling and how they express it.
Yeah.
It's just what it is, neither right or wrong. It's just what it is. And we need more of those conversations.
Well, we do. Definitely do. I mean,
so it just enhances your boldness, basically, to go and do other things.
For sure. You gotta be bold with who you are. You gotta be bold with, you know? Because like there's people who are like villains and turn into like, you know, it's like the social media villains, but people still empathize with them.
Fair.
You know, it's because if those people know that they've got that in them as well, but they're not brave enough or they don't have the opportunity enough to put it out. So, you know, it's like, but it's nothing extraordinary. It's like something you can even do in your own space. You can be bold in your own space. You don't need to like be that in public. You know, you can be in your own studio space and create boldly and just publish from that. That's what you gotta do.
Boldly.
I like that, man. I like that, especially when you say in your own space, which is something that I've noticed with you, and it's so funny. Like when you're speaking about like the whole philosophy of theater is that it's all within you, and you know you start where you are. You start with basically what you have. You know what I mean, with no extras and whatnot. But you start now with who you are and what you have,
For sure.
and then you rely on that, which is a common thread that has been with you throughout your creative endeavors from jump, you know, like taking it back to sneak peek days, you know. I remember you even saying, like, I don't know who was talking or commenting about your phone, and you said to them, I'm never buying a phone. You know, you said, I'm never buying a phone. I'm going to get a phone some way, somehow, but I'm going to get it for free. Right? And that's when then it happened from you being an ambassador for a phone company. But also just tying that back is that you said you're starting a blog and you're going to start it by taking videos off of your phone.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you said, I'm going to make videos, but I'm going to use my phone, you know? And just take us through even just that thought process within that nothing can stop me. I'm going to do it type of energy that you've displayed throughout.
It's like Motavutu Nsoyembo, man. Motavutu Nsoyembo, because no ngena uthi is this it? Like, yeah, because no ngena kwezinye is this it? Oh, yabo let's not start. No, I tell you, dog. You know, I used to say that ngaleza states.
Yeah.
Just because I'm arrogant and confident.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You say that a lot, yeah.
Until I got there. And I was like, oh, on some real level, I can take them on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's mainly been that to say, bafethu. So y'all need a DSLR? My phone, it's 2 megapixel.
Yep.
But we're doing it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like there was a time where Masters of Rhythm was on TV.
Yeah.
And somehow after an exam, I found myself at the recording studios, probably like free lunch was being offered. Then I was like, there. Then the guest judges is AKA and Questa. Then I pull out this phone, I'm like, can I get an interview? And it was this young, bold kid, and they're like, yo. And they're like, yep, let's do it. And it's like about sneakers. No one was talking about sneakers at that time, but they could make the math because they're in the hip hop space. They know how the lifestyle connects to everything. They're like,
yeah.
let's go. You know, I think that was one of my first big, most viewed videos.
Yeah.
You know? And it was that to say, you've got a phone in your pocket, whip it out, dog. Whip it out. And we run even within Let's Play Outside. Now we work with high school students. And how do we teach them the fundamentals of storytelling? Phones. They use phones to record, edit, and publish.
Yeah.
Because
Start with what you have.
yeah, it is what it is, and build from that, so that when you start building, you build from an updated point of view and minimal point of view, and that's very important in growth as well. I'm sure a lot of people, as you grow older or grow in your career, you understand the importance of minimizing.
Yeah.
You know, because minimizing allows evolution. Because if you have too much furniture at your house, and you have to refurbish it, it's gonna be an expensive exercise. Or if your house is too big, you know. So it's like reimagining those things. It's like, yeah, you can be big in the industry and whatnot without even having an office space, maybe. Can you consider that? You know, because it can allow you to go further. Masingathi siyavaya manje orkanti sinespan orkanti akumele sikhiye la sifake security. No, we keep it moving.
Put your bag on, let's go.
Exactly, and we work on a digital office. I'm saying as far as you can do that, that's best. Bringing it back to the basics and students is to say you move faster and you move with the current, which is sometimes a good thing.
Yeah.
When you don't carry too much. Like identities. Yo, me, I'm a real nigga. I don't do this, I don't do that. Ushiwa izinto mfana. Share my opportunity. You know,
I'm still a real nigga though.
Yeah, man. I hear you on that one,
but how are you 25 and you've
Talking
defined who you are for the rest of your life? How does that make sense?
I can get it as a child, yeah. I mean, dip your hands in as many pots as you can.
Then you actually discover that you probably can be a 55-year-old that still hasn't defined what they do. But you do this and you're having fun and you're able to tap into this industry, play with these kids, go to another playground. That's nice.
I mean,
I'll tell you that. That's sometimes you gotta give yourself that freedom just to be anywhere in the world and stay who you are. You are who you are anywhere in the world, right? And I think yours is to be that in any space and anywhere. Given the opportunity, why use Valela? And I say this because just to speak to identity, when we're born, you don't really have an identity, do you?
True.
Umuntu mfethu. Umuntu. You know, you learn these things and you inherit some of these things. Some are real insofar as spiritually or whatever the case is. But my point is, you don't have to restrict yourself to an identity or whatever, because these things you inherit here on earth, they're not really who you are.
It's not what you are, it's who you are. That's important.
What's that?
It's not what you are, it's who you are.
Exactly. And I think, just who you are is enough, you know? And get what you need, or what's good for you. That's very important.
That's hectic, man. That's hectic. Now, in terms of like these things that you've learned, right? Some of these lessons you had to learn the hard way, and you had to make certain decisions that did pan out well for you in the long run.
They did fry pan out.
They fry panned out in the long run. But then, like, you know, I mean, you've told the story before, but like, you know, the first time, and also just like you also just acting is also like just something that's always just also been with you for over a decade now.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But like when you went into creating your RHTC umbrella, Return Home to Create, you know, this was a time where you had landed an ad for it was Vodacom.
It's a Vodacom, man.
Yeah. And you landed this ad, and you used mad money, like just frivolously. But then when you were down to your last bid, you were like, nah, I need to create something out of this. You know, take us through that point where it's just like, oh snap, this doesn't come all the time, so I'm gonna have to do something to make this sustainable.
Actually, I spent that money wise. I got 15K from that ad. A lot of money at that time.
Yeah.
Still is, but more. That time I bought myself a camera.
Yeah.
I bought my first DSLR. No, my second, but my proper DSLR.
Yeah.
With that was like about 8K, 8 to 10K or something like that.
This.
It was like, you know, I got that. Then the last 2K is what I invested in developing an online store, which was not really an online store, but it was more of a blog turned into a online store interface type thing, you know? And it was the last 2,000 rands of those earnings. And it's because I've been flirting with that idea from being a blogger. You get exposed to the potential of like the digital space, and the next best thing was an online store. So I'm like, I had met 3 brands Babatunde had modeled for, which had like African print wares and accessories.
Shout out Babatunde.
Babatunde.
I still got the umbrella, bro. I still got the umbrella.
You still got? That's a nice piece. I don't even have it. I wish I still at least have a pith helmet and an umbrella.
Yeah.
But shout out Gareth Cowden. Then I met these boys. They call themselves creative beings. You know.
I remember creative beings.
Creative beings.
Yeah.
So you know, Usizwe now he's a storyteller, he's a filmmaker, and I work with him to produce The Mayor's Office. Then Uchaz is in marketing right now, but they were in high school, and I bumped into them here at OST Ritual Stores. It was a sneaker event, and I'm like, yo, the stuff is in this store, like, we make this. And I'm like, I'll see any chance. I said, Styler Gang, Squad right now. I was selling their dashiki tees. Remember dashiki tees?
Dashiki going crazy in the streets. You had to be there, bro.
You had to be there.
Yeah.
They went crazy. I didn't have one, but they went crazy.
Those used to fly.
They went crazy.
Dog. I used to be calling those boys every second, third thing. It's my fitting funny stock, dog. Because people were going crazy over those, dog. Yeah. So that's how we started, pretty much that. So there was an online space, which was more of the interface. Most of the sales was done on the ground. I had a bicycle. I lived in Perea. Bicycle, I had a backpack. I lived here. So you call me, we meet. I give it to you. I take a picture of you on Twitter. I put it out there to legitimize myself as an online store. So people see that this thing is real.
Yeah,
then they start ordering online. Send it to them. Then they take the pictures. You know how we take pictures of people?
Yeah.
They want to take the pictures with paper bags. Exactly like that. Now it's an online culture. You know what I mean? And it goes back to that thing of starting with what you have. Literally, it was 2K, and we started a business, and I'm sure they made that 2K within the first 2 days. You know, the first day of it was hard, but it was at all week. First day I didn't make sales. I got home and slept because I was just exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, is this thing gonna work? Second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, killed. That's when I knew we on. And I wanted a job then because we just graduated. Remember? Yeah. I was looking for a job. I was like, let me do this thing for Somalanka. Bangati, you know, I wanted a job in the marketing space. This was going to be my bizan, that project that gets you the job. Hey, but the project that got you the job was too nice, dog. It was giving me the money I want, which was not a lot, but enough. And I was on the ground, and I was doing other stuff. It gave me all the stuff I needed. So after 6 months, it was like, do I still need a job? Because I'm paying rent. Yeah. You know, sharing a space, paying rent. Got groceries, I got a bicycle.
Why do I need a job? Yeah.
Like, what more do I need? And from then on, we were able to build more things, you know?
Nice.
Dope. And at this point, you fast forward, but then you also went into formal employment for a little bit.
Yeah. 7 months.
7 months to be 7 months
Where
to be
was that?
exact.
I was Puma.
Oh yeah, you did. I
Yeah.
remember that.
No, it's
This
7.
nigga been doing too much.
No,
next time.
it felt long because it was 7 months within, like full time.
Yeah.
Then when I left,
You were still.
You were
I was
still-
called back to help with certain things.
Yeah.
And that relationship spent for years.
Yeah.
And I can't say it's ended because there's breaks in between all of these, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like,
And they
it's
can call.
But that's the thing with the stuff I do is like the relationships are not short most of the time.
Yeah.
We go on. We may not miss each other for a season or two, but once we start a relationship,
Yeah.
it's on
Yeah,
for a
don't
very
bend the
long time.
bridges. Don't bend the bridges, bro.
When we see each other, it's on.
Yeah, because it's a partnership. No matter how big you are, we partner.
We partner,
We
though.
partner. Ngisho uZikasla manje.
Yeah.
Uzwenzani? Kwamele uvulekile mfethu. We partner. Noma sobona amadouble up vayo kuma-double up.
Yeah.
Kuzobuya nayi toolkit nayi official toolkit. Nah, mfethu. Usayazi.
plaza yithi.
But
Uzobuya.
Jiga.
So it is what it is.
Jiga. Now when you going through, like, you know, you got your online store and whatnot, but then now you formalize into the space now. But now this space is not just a store, right? It becomes this hub of creative minds meeting each other, and, you know, just being creative and just having a space to be free. And we also get introduced to all of these kids, these young kids, and they're coming through with this bold energy, like really, really unapologetic energy.
Yep.
And seeing them now, like all of them are in
All
great
of them.
spaces now, but we were introduced to them through this RHTC space, the store.
Yeah, one of them even work with, I think, Katlego.
Yeah.
Kate,
Yeah,
she
Kate
also
Katana.
comes from that, yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's only now it links to her. She was
Yeah.
one of the...
So like in terms of that, was that the intention of that space, or like when you were like, yo man, I'm not, I mean, because online doesn't have as much overheads as having like a physical space, right?
Definitely.
So having a physical space is a higher risk, right? Like, again, another bold move that you pull.
For sure.
Now, what was that vision? Was the vision to have this as a melting pot of creative minds and creative kids that are going to recognize their potential there? Or was it just like, yo, this is coincidental, I just need a space for people to see the product and sell the product?
Here's the answer. It was not by design, it was not meant to be that big. By philosophy and the actual vision, it was meant to be, but I thought it would take more time.
Nice.
That thing was supposed to make us look cool. Just me and the guys that work. But there was always a development project behind everything. Because when you sell local brands, you soon realize that there's no profit here. There's really no actual business. So we're growing this thing. So you got to go to the brands and be like, this is what I know about branding. This is how I know about storytelling within streetwear. That there's Jordan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are chapters. Meaning you need to create a story with this, whether it's a summer story, and have it consistent for year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and have different editions. That there was education among us that had to happen. But when we got to the store, this is like 2-3 years after online store, tours, talks, engaging with actual community. So people knew us. We were in people's hood. We came to Spokane, we went to Durban, we went to the East Rand, the Forest Lake Aslami, we went to Soweto. This is all a tour. And we were growing a community. I didn't know that this thing was going to be a permanent thing. Like when you plant a seed here, that these people, you got their attention and they follow. I didn't know that. I thought, because the stats say it online. The people who visit, booking, we actually grow in community. When how the store comes about is Blomile Bram. There was one of those stores. It became archived later, but it was called some Anatomy. Then at 72, they were doing a pop-up. But at some point, all those spaces were, when you occupy them for a long time. But so it was a certain space that was now going in and out as a pop-up space. When I they must have been in high school. Shy pop-up vele, angibelieve ngiyangena la, ngithi chance. Wala, nithi yini laba? And they're resellers. So they're reselling like all that hype stuff.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was, all that stuff that was hype international. So those white kids, they have access, they travel, you know, and they're doing it, dog. Mangithi ngifika lapha emuva kwestoro. Ngibona inye out ishanga impahla ngithi ayilendala. Mangithi tamalabo baba. Tamalabo was crunching numbers for them. In the store, does this still make sense business-wise? Angiyabona ukuthi man ngiyangeneka musla. It's nice chats. Ngiyabaringa. Mayingene. Otas ringena labantu labo okay, I'm not sharp. Next week angiyangena. Mangibona ukuthi siyaphuma. Or they told me that it's the last week, they're extending by a week or something. Angabangena lapha phezulu ngothi lesa space sifuna bafethu. How many don't no man ngaska 3 weeks. 3 weeks basika 3 weeks masingenile.
For free or
no, you pay. It's like a weekly, there's a weekly, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and a monthly rate. It gets lower as you go higher.
The more you
know.
Yeah.
So I'm like, artist dudes, Then on the first day when we launched the pop-up, it was raining, but I remember, like 30 minutes late, Masvula, there's a queue. People.
Outside.
Standing under a small shelter outside. But it's cold, it's raining. But and it's that community we were building, whether consciously or unconsciously. First day we killed. After 2 weeks about mfana savala subisilahlile. Sasala. And we went up there in Osansa, we negotiated a permanent lease. And the store became, and from that it was a space where it's a permanent space, so it becomes an intersection of high school, varsity college, young people working. Now it's an intersection. It's just a sport, because one of us owns it now, so we're comfortable. We don't need to justify why we chill.
It becomes a
buy anything, you know.
Yeah, we do that a lot,
It becomes that, but also now it stops becoming a streetwear store. It becomes a music space. Mfana singaperforma la. Mfana ngicela ukushiya exhibition yabo.
Can we record a podcast here?
You feel me? The Silver Ring had a couple of, art lifers.
Yeah, we did that.
So the space was small, it was tiny. I mean, the stage is probably the size of the store, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we made it happen with the courtyard, but that called for a bigger project, which was a festival, because we had to house all these elements. There was opportunity. And we're like, no one's doing it. We don't have budget, but we have community. And now by ifuna le ntangisho nthina ifuna. So singayenza sonke mahala.
Yeah.
But sayenza mahala. And we did it. Like remember the first one was at what's called the Playground now, market.
Yeah.
And now bobaskaya mahala. Sipithi nyathi bathu call. Ayinsoyimbukele ya sayiringa yatange bicycle emseni yesigayilisi futhi sathi khali manje seyenza lento lapha phezulu athi khali sure. And I'd later hear that around the same season they didn't give permission to corporate brands to do something there. And when we were seen doing something, there was a war there in corporate, but so we were lucky to have people like that supporting us. That guy had no business.
Yeah.
He's a designer, you know? He's not in the streets.
Yeah.
He never bought anything from us. And those people, plus all the tens, if not hundreds of people that contributed to that.
Yeah.
They made it happen because, it was a shared vision. So that's how it did. It went from that thing of making something from nothing.
Yeah.
Then along the way with all these collaborators, you'd see we have an actual community, and how we actually proved that we do this thing called the Big Picture, which is an annual thing just before the festival. We'd have all the collaborators come in the same picture.
Yeah.
And the first one would have over 100 people. The second one which was the last one, had over 300 people when I was counting heads on the picture.
We left work early for that one.
Yeah, we did.
You guys were there too, you know? So yeah, I mean, that's how community is built. Summary of all of that is that we were supposed to be a small group of people doing some dope shit, getting money, and living like them odd futures and all of that because they did it like that.
Yeah.
Kanti like Mzansi mfana. Mzansi, everyone wants in and everyone is willing to give and contribute. And we came up with something even more beautiful.
Amazing. That's beautiful.
Yeah. That's fire. That's fire. I love that, man. I love that. And how you find yourself in your space now, I mean, you're still in this developmental space because even there, it still had a hand of developing. You know what I mean? Because you're developing brands, you're developing these creatives, and now you're in the space where you're developing not only yourself, but now also these high school kids, and you're exposing them to this world of content. Whereas, you know, this was a thing that was somewhat unfamiliar to us.
Yes.
When we were growing up. You know, I mean, we knew maybe like 5 professions, you know, and we really didn't understand what this content space is professionally.
Yep.
And now you're creating these workshops and you having these development sessions with these kids and take us through this whole plan to develop the next batch of storytellers from that level.
So the first thing about storytelling is that it has very little to do with storytelling, but everything to do with you knowing more about the world. You guys know it too. It's like every person that sits here, you probably have to do research. Then you have to go into their world.
Yep.
And there's so much education that you go through and you understand your world better. And if you understand your world better, you're able to make better decisions.
Yeah.
That's the main purpose of education. It's not just that qualification that you
get a job with.
Yeah, I mean, that's the commercial part of it. But when you're in situations, that's why I would say, hey, we have to have educated people. What people mean that is like, we have to have informed people so that informed people can make
informed
decisions. It's this basic math. Storytelling gives people an opportunity to go into different worlds, understand. And when you have understanding, you can act accordingly. You know what I mean?
Add a word when you have context.
And the results of that will show.
Yep.
It's all about understanding. It's not about being right or wrong. So when you give that opportunity to somebody, whether older or youth, a teenager, especially teens, you open up their world beyond their curriculum. Firstly, starting with themselves, then their community, then they go further within that. And you might get a doctor from that just because of an interview they did with somebody and it clicked. That's who I am.
Yeah.
While that's happening, they broadcast it as their podcast and does the same for somebody else in different parts of the country. You know what I mean? That's what storytelling is about and that's what we use it for. So going back to all those platforms in 2015, we had LPO workshops.
I remember
you
those.
hosted a couple of those, right? And that's what it did, because that's where you see those names that and those faces that are doing it now. They were there. They were there sucking in all that info. And it might have played a very significant role in making sense of who they are and where they belong in the world. You know? So all in all, storytelling we've been using it like that, now more intentional.
Yeah.
To say, okay, that's it. The long-term plan is that in Braam, we found and some people found us on their way up. You know, and that's why it looks like, oh shit, everybody that went through RHTC or Let's Play Outside in Braam is doing it.
Yep.
We found each other because we were already on our way there. Right? But we were able to keep each other safe and structured.
Yeah. It's like a marathon.
Exactly.
You joined each other's trains.
Yep.
That's it. When you collaborate and we know this one, we're able to connect the dots, then the opportunities come from that. It's no coincidence, this thing. You know what I mean? So it created that network. But those people were already on their way. They were already having business conversations, whether it's influencer conversations with brand. So these people they're developing, but they're already getting into the space. Now, when you deal with high school students,
Yeah.
you're working with people who are untainted. No commercial interest, they're just about it. That's a very good space to teach.
Just want shoes.
That's a very beautiful space to teach. And what we did in Bram with all those who were on their way up is the festival. But with the festival, we couldn't monetize to the max or to
Yeah.
its potential.
Yeah.
Because we're working with people that are on their way up and may not have given themselves time to learn the basics again. So that the basics will teach you how to maximize and monetize every point so that you don't work at a loss. We worked at a loss and had to take a break.
Yeah.
So now is to say, if we started 3 years ago working with a grade 9, 10 student, and now they're in the matric and they're matriculating. Those are our senior students.
Yeah.
While the course still starts with the grade 9s. Right now we have about 90 students that are in different phases of this.
Yeah.
It's 90. It grows with every year, probably by 50.
Yeah.
Right? So in a year or two, I think we'll have a strong enough group and team, even those who come back late from other spaces, to do the LPO festival right. And what I mean by right, it's gonna be a youth festival organized by
By the
youth
youth, for the
from
youth.
the back end 6 months before to the gate, to the stage management. There might be no bar. It's a real thing. There might be no alcohol sponsors. And it might start at 10 a.m. and you come with your family and your toddlers and it's a fish showcase, what your babies are not talent show.
Yeah.
And at 2, 3 p.m. it's time for the teens now. We go ignorant or something like that. But within good, and we close it at 9, 10 at late,
Yeah.
And that's a festival that's organized by teens, for teens.
Yeah.
And that's what we're building. At every point, we're going to monetize better than most big festivals.
Nice.
That's how we're going to do it without any alcohol sponsor. It's possible. We're going to show it, That's the vision, because there's a bigger market. There's a bigger market, but going back to the basics is that we need to protect people in different phases,
Yeah.
I went through that. I started really drinking socially at age 25. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm in the position I am right now,
Yeah.
where whether I drink or not, it's not a thing that takes away from me, because I'm responsible enough.
Yes.
And we need to speak about that honestly.
Yeah.
Teens need to be teens as they should and play.
Yeah.
And when it's time for them to make bold decisions about where they need to live, the way they want to party, what drinks they want to drink, they're in a bold and an empowered position. And that's what I advocate. We need to be real. We need not to sell to people. We need to interact, trade, give them value.
Yeah.
And they show value on the other side,
Yeah.
And that's the vision. That's the vision. And it goes back to the basics. Democratizing access, democratizing knowledge.
Yeah, nice.
That's beautiful, man.
So, Bulldog, where do you guys meet? Dinsa.
Lick up on a guy.
Interesting. Bulldog's always been around me. But in the past couple of weeks, we've been able to interact.
Yeah.
And how we did it was through an invitation from Zaid Osman.
Shout out to Zaid Osman.
Shout out Zaid.
Zaid Osman is a very important member of our community, we bumped into him street cred. That's why I knew him, 2011. He's always been ahead.
For years.
So even though I'm a leader in my own space, I can look to people like Zaid to lead me and introduce me to certain people in certain spaces.
Yeah.
And he's the one that introduced me to Bulldog and says, we're hosting this thing and it's around the idea of the bold ones and who better to host it but you.
A bold one.
A bold one.
Exactly. So
Bold boys worldwide.
I rose up to the occasion. I was like, let's get it. Mainly because it's him.
Hey, let's get it, bro.
Get it. So I was like, let's get it. Let's get it. And it was fun. It allowed me to do what I do, I was hosting that, holding the mic, putting it on the side, projecting, doing my thing. And they could allow me to do that. you know, and also conversations with interesting people. I had a conversation with Q.
Beautiful.
You know, and also I knew Q because I'd worked with him too. So all these things come together. But that was my first interaction, and very important interaction, because now you speak to who I am, what I'm about as well. You know, it's not we wanna pay you to do this thing. You know, I said yes before. I found out mainly because it's Zaid. You know, it's another bold one. So I'm like, I'm safe here. Because you gotta, it's nice
This
when
is someone from our community.
And not 12, only community, but no, you're safe here. You know, it's like this bro won't cheat me. You know what I mean? Even if he shortcuts me here, I know he's gonna add value here, and he does that. So it's nice being around that community. So that's my entry. It's a very friendly entry into, you know, the space and the relationship with the brand. And I was like, yo, when they hit me up, and I was like, yo, let's have a conversation with the sobering as well. I was like, you guys are hitting it again on the mark. So it's so far so good. I feel good about this relationship because it comes through organically with the people I trust. And they mess with the people I trust. So maybe I could trust them too. Actually, not maybe.
That's the boldness.
I am.
Bold. Young Fry, trust you. We trust you.
That's beautiful, man.
And on your personal capacity as well, you know, just not just facilitating as well and creating from the back end, but now also doing stuff in front of the camera. It's also like a dope space. You know what I mean? Like you said, like if you would have told us in like 10 years ago, Fry would be talking about the playoffs or LeBron or Darwinham or anything like that, we'd be like,
or going to All-Star Weekend.
You know what I mean? But now you're in front of the camera and you're doing something that you also always did, sort of. You know what I mean? Like you've always actually had the knack for presenting, but now you're doing it, you know, and in a space where you get to learn as well, you know? Just take us through how that even happened, and then your reaction and your preparation to go into this world that does require research. Like
for sure.
You have to.
Can't cheat it.
In sports, there's no two ways about it.
Cheat it.
Research is a must.
For sure.
Even experts have to research in that field, you know? So take us through that. Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, right? It's like you can't know enough. You just have to go through it. Dog, it starts in a very beautiful way. So as you said, it's like I direct too, right? So I worked with this company called Visual Content Gang.
Shout out Visual Content Gang.
They hit me up maybe about
VCG.
About three years ago. It's like they saw an advert I produced independently for South Point. And they were like, yo, you're doing it. And they hit me up. They said, yo,
that's Patandra in them.
Yeah. And he's like, would you want to be one of us pretty much as a director? And I was like, hey, chance me, I didn't go to film school. And they were like, yes, but I'm still learning because in Spana no Sizwe, and Sizwe studied and does this. So he helps me with the technical and the language. I know what I need to do. You know, I know how to sell it to clients, bring it back and translate it. But I don't know the technical. And they were like, it's cool, we'll teach each other. Share that perspective. I was like, okay, if you're down for that, let's get it. You know? Then about a year and one or two projects after, I get invited as a second AD to a NBA commission film that's going to be produced by the same production.
Second assistant director, for those you don't know.
Second assistant director. And my responsibilities become a lot. You know, a second assistant director, you go to location scouting. So I had to go through courts, basketball courts, because this script is based in Soweto. So I have to go through all, if not most if not all courts in Soweto. Then you gotta meet the teams. Then you gotta audition. Then I had a first AD, chairs. We audition in Soweto, audition basketball players who could act. To see we wanted to make it a real thing. Exactly, you know? So what then happens, you spend an entire season living basketball. You go to tournaments. But now I'm learning basketball from a local perspective. Because Nyagula ma tournament understands, I trauma kwicho baba. And I'm like, ngathi kuse stadium, ngathi kuse ground. And I'm like, oh, y'all do this? Basketball? So I'm learning this thing from a South African perspective. I'm like, I didn't think it was this close. Then we produce it, we screen it, we do the first screening for client, and Batan was like, oh, you MC too, huh? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, shy writing. I mean, you can't say no, you know? Then I MC, I kind of dropped the whole thing. The sounds like, yo, I'm a second AD here, but I MC and I host, but I say, if you want to hire me, I'm around. It's a joke at this point, but all the decision makers pretty much are there.
Unless they gonna take it serious, it's serious.
You know? And so I would assume that there was those points of planting that seed from, as a researcher and a second AD, learning about the sports from a local perspective, shooting my shots just because I am who I am. And when the opportunity came, I wasn't auditioned. I was just called. Because it's there, I have my own show called The Mayor's Office. So you can do this.
Yeah.
I've worked with brands, so you can translate brand objectives.
Yeah.
I've done my research. You know, I've worked with production. So you do. So it was like, you piece all these
You've got a
elements
showreel.
and you're like, I you know, and for sure I rose up to the occasion. But here's the thing, I'm new to the sports. I'm not new to the culture because the culture's always been around. We've always worn the rare basketball sneakers. Yep, you know what I mean? We know the history of it. So the cultures, I've been doing it. But the sports is something that now I have to invest myself in, because a lot of people feel a way about someone like me getting that opportunity.
Of course.
And I get it. Totally get it, you know? Because I would too, that's why I get it. But then what they do, how I translate it, because I'm a researcher, I understand. What they're saying to me is like, yo, are you gonna invest yourself in our thing or you not?
Can we trust you with our thing?
Exactly. So that's why I have to go to the court and learn. And that's why I have to watch the games. That's why I have to be on the NBA app.
You see me bust that Kyrie move. You see me, yo.
I saw
you
it.
see me bust that Kyrie move.
You know, and you were teaching me moves that like what, a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Too late, you know? So it's like, it's that. It's not so different from how I started with the sneak peek thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I've always had a knack for that, and I hope I don't lose that.
Yeah.
And I'm always been a student of the space, and I've always been a sharer.
Yeah.
So this is a formal opportunity.
Collector and sharer.
You know, that's taken me to the other side of the world. Too.
Yeah.
You know, I was at the All Stars, and because I'm so new, I'm not starstruck. Ngabula Pro and Inabu Steph. Azilang, Shailing,
That was so lit. This dude is doing a link, and Steph is right at the back.
Yeah, see again.
You know, like you were arguably one of the greatest shooters of all time, bro. And you out there just casually doing a link. That was so fly, bro.
But that's the beautiful thing. It's like the camera, the crew I was working with, they're in it.
Yeah.
And I could see in their face what this moment means.
Yeah.
Right? And I took that as to say I need to be on point.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff, I'd say 50% of the stuff I did was freestyle. My producer was like, we have 5 minutes here.
Go.
Do anything. Ba, ba, ba,
Give
ba,
us something.
Ba, ba, ba. Hey, son, how about you wait on the streets? Ba, ba, how about you? Yeah, bon. And it's everybody's on that, because La Machines Lawa, when they're doing their warm-ups, they'll spend 2 minutes on this side of the court, then go to the other side. So if you lose them for this 2 minutes and you don't do something, you might not have them because there's no more space.
There's no take two
on the
there.
court side
Yeah,
when the press is there, you know? And I'm one of the only few, because it seems like in the States they don't do much of the court side links anymore.
They're over it.
Yeah, you know? So we still do stuff that the world has forgotten on TV, like the charisma on TV. When you come through, they don't do it like we do anymore, you know? All those things they take for granted. So I'm found being the only one there doing a link. And when you do that, there's like people look at you. It's the camera crews from different networks. It's the influencers and the VIP. I remember with my last one, this guy who was watching me, they made me do it over and over again. Then he came to me, he's like, yo, they made you do it over and over, but you were killing it. You know, I'm like, yo, man, thank you, but it's my job. Who are you? You look familiar. It's like, yo, I'm Shaq's son. You know, and
Casually.
that's the spaces you find yourself. So, you know, it's dope. Like, I don't know these people, they knew. So the benefit is I come there, I do what I do because I'm Sispanini and I'm excellent at what I do. Then people organically pick that up and create relationships from there. I don't know where it'll take me, but it goes back to that LPO stuff. You go into spaces and you do what you do. You don't know, you don't see that you're creating a community.
Yeah.
You're right.
Or you don't see that you're joining a community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not coincidence. It's my 3rd time at the States in different capacities.
Yeah.
4th time actually. You know? So it's like, I don't know what I'm planting there and whatnot and what's gonna come out. Hopefully.
What seed is gonna...
Something will happen.
Yeah.
Something will happen. Something will happen, man. Yo, bro. I mean, we can go on and on, but like your journey is definitely aligned to, you know,
The boldness.
the boldness,
Bold.
to executing ideas, giving birth to ideas, and just walking boldly.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And I think this is a no-brainer of a collaboration, and it's great that you imparting all of this knowledge. You know, and I think as us as sobering as well, I think that we also just have that responsibility just to walk boldly. And I mean, leave something bold for the people to also pick up, man. So I don't know if you have any bold statements that you want to just leave
throw
us
out
with.
there.
A bold nugget, a bold something, some bold juice from the Frypan fountain.
Hey,
Don't spill it.
Hey, let me share it before I spill it.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Go ahead,
But as
bro.
you were,
Wait, I missed that. What you say?
Nah.
as you were.
I'm gonna catch it on the episode. Now he's really intervention. Nami ngicabanga nuggets mfana. You know what this feels like? It feels like those videos.
Word
Word of the day. It feels like a word of the day type moment.
Okay, word of the day. Word of the day. At the end of the day, the day must end.
Sure. At the end of the day is the beginning of another day.
All right, let's simplify it.
Yeah.
What do you think your boldest step has been?
Damn, I like that. That's a vibe. The boldest step is not being afraid to be a new student again.
Oh,
That's pretty much
Oh,
it.
man.
You know? Yeah, it's not an easy one because I know we romanticized it and we put flowers in the story, but it's hard. You get challenged.
Yeah.
You get people that maybe you admired, or people you admired and you wanted to affirm certain things, saying, nah, you're not it,
Yeah.
because you've stepped into their space.
Yeah.
You
Now
know?
you're an adversary.
Yeah, and that was not even the intention.
Yeah.
The intention was just to be you.
Yeah.
In a different way this season. So there's those things, and it takes a great level of boldness to go into it, stay in it, persist, and see yourself through to the other side.
Yeah.
And when I say boldness, I don't mean you pumping up your chest and showing it to the world. Boldness is going back home and being in your feels and getting over that, then gaining perspective.
Yeah.
Then making a decision or coming to a perspective or conclusion.
Yeah.
It starts from within.
You'll
You
feel-
know?
yeah.
Yeah, because as I said, these are external factors. When they bring that energy to me,
It's matrix.
ufike endlini and get in my feels, get over it, pray about it, whatever, meditate about it, whatever you into.
Yeah.
But it starts with you, and you don't have to project it to the next person and say, when we say, dog, it's done, it's gone. When I so grandy,
Yeah.
and you've learned something. And that's ultimately, I think, the boldness we need, especially as gentlemen. We need to be gentle as we grow older. That's the boldest shit you can do as a man. I feel like you gotta be gentler and gentler and gentler as you grow because the
I
world
feel
is
you.
fucked up for
You know,
men who are not gentle.
Yeah, it's funny how we're gentlemen, but we forgot the gentleness. I hear you.
Gentle magic.
Damn, dog, you've been quiet for a long time. That gentle stuff really.
Yeah, it pulled him out.
dog. Because I'm like, yo, I haven't heard this voice in a minute right now.
Well, that's how long you've been speaking for. You forget yourself.
I go in. I know myself. Because that's fell short. I feel like I gave 5 answers or something like that. Dog. I'm like, no way. It must have been 30 minutes.
No, you know, I know, you go. I'll let you.
Nick's even going.
Yeah.
I can't see.
So,
He has been going.
Just before, I don't know, I mean, in the past, Bulldog has worked with, I think, people like Lady Do.
Yes.
Wanda,
Mm.
and I forget who.
Samurai.
Yeah. Do you know what the future is looking like? Like, what can we expect from, I mean, there's you, of course, and then with the boldness, and then just this whole celebration of creativity and ideas. What does that kind of look like?
One, the fact that it's rooted in ideas, I think is lovely. And it's not fly because it's something fundamental, you know, and ideas are not just ideas that live in someone's brain and paper. These are ideas that people have been able to put out. So all those people that you mentioned, they had ideas, put them out,
Brought them to
people
fruition.
resonated with, and I'm sure that vibration resonated with other people and created more ideas,
100%.
right? So for me, it's like, oh, that's a good start.
Yeah.
And so far as where it's going, I see myself in this couch speaking for this. So I think that's a good start, whether I'm directly in it or not.
Yeah.
But to have someone like me, I think it speaks to the essence of what they're going for, that maybe, okay, it's time for more substance. Not numbers.
Yes.
Per se. You gotta have numbers though. But it's about the substance first besides numbers. I hope that is, because I don't have much numbers to give.
Yeah.
I've got okay numbers, but I'm real life popular.
Talk to him.
You know what I mean? So if you want that,
That's where you come in.
yeah, not only me. No, not only me. That's where people like me
Yeah.
come in. And those people that
Yes.
work their asses off.
Yeah.
That's how you become real life popular. Only way is to be seen at work, serving people as
Show
many
up.
as possible.
Yeah.
That's real life
Show up.
popularity.
Show
you know?
up.
Uthi post news or post after, you know, when you're real life popular, you span a month, you post after 2 months because you are so caught up
In the work.
in the work.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you post immediately, but
But the work
the
is
work
happening.
starts. The work, it's about the work first.
Yeah.
When you know, because you know what keeps you here is the work. It's not the numbers. Shay spani, shay deliverable. Shay invoice.
What keeps you here?
Span. Work.
And not?
Numbers.
I think I forgot what he said.
Oh, it's work. My bad.
Work, not the numbers that keep him here. That's another.
Do you want me to
bold thing
repeat
you
it?
can
I'll do it.
Yeah, do it.
I'll do it for you. What did I say? To camera, right?
Yeah.
Do it. It's the work that keeps you here and not the numbers.
Yeah.
Mokheto said, I must do it like that. Yes.
Thank you, my brother.
Put the numbers on hold. Big Wall, I said it.
Yep.
But that's what it is. It's real though. It's real.
Yep.
We gotta preach that.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's how we can wrap it up, man.
Yeah, man.
A big shout out to Bulldog Gin. Shout out to all the ideas. Shout out to everybody that's working and walking and working boldly. You know, salute to you.
Salute.
From the Sobering
Salutas.
and the Pan.
It's been good. Sobering alumni right here.
Yeah, good to have you here, man.